Okay, so we're just going to remove this this torque screw. It's a size 40, and they can be on pretty tight. This one's not too bad. Okay, yeah, he's just finger tight now. I'm not going to take him off all of the way. He's just finger tight at the moment. Okay, now one thing to bear in mind is if you come round to the other side of the door, if I close that a little bit for you there, just so you can see the wing mirror, obviously we're starting to loosen this up. Now once we've loosened this up, we start to pull it away, this whole thing will start to fall, and it can touch obviously the door itself. So you might want to put some masking tape maybe and some paper on it, just to help protect it, or maybe put a blanket over your door and just tuck it in around the sides, just in case this does fall onto the door of your car. Obviously you don't want to scratch it in an ideal world. Okay, so make sure you protect it, and I'll show you how this comes off. Okay, so now I'm just going to remove the screw completely from the rear. Okay, like so. And now the easiest way to do this is to kind of give it a bit of a wiggle there, and it'll just pop out across the top edge like so. Now if you can kind of look down in there, you'll see there's got like a slight, this kind of polystyrene kind of fixing in the middle, and what you'll find is there's actually nothing holding it in now apart from the cable, which you can't quite see well in a second. So you're going to have to give it a bit of a wiggle. So what you want to do is get that cable, here it comes. You can just about see the cable right at the bottom, just there on the tip of my finger, just in there. That's the cable. What you want to try and do is just pull that up just a smidge without putting too much pressure onto it. Okay, now if you've got a second person to hold that mirror for you, if that's fine. If you haven't, then obviously you've already protected your door. So when you rest this on your door, you're not going to cause any damage. Okay, now before I pull this out any further, the thing I'm going to do is just get rid of this little polystyrene section. Sometimes this can get in the way. Once this is removed, you'll be able to see much better what you're doing. Now be very careful when you're pulling this out, because it is only polystyrene type material, and so it does kind of tear quite easily. So you don't want to rip it, because this will be going back in when you refit your mirrors. So just pull that out like so, put that to one side. Now if you look down inside there, you can see much better what you're trying to achieve. You can see the cable running down the back there, and the whole thing should make a little bit more sense. Okay, now just aid me in feeding the cable up and through. I'm just going to bring all my cable through the door speaker, so it's all ready to go straight up. And there's one little thing on here, which is this little cable tie on a kind of a little spline bracket. Now I normally cut this off, and then we'll use a fresh cable tie or a fresh one of these fixings. The reason being is it can act like a bit of a knot in a rope. This is the bit that often can get jammed in the top when you're trying to get it out. So you might want to order yourself a new one of these, or obviously just cable tie it on as best you can when you come to that end. So that's now ready to be fed up. It's nice and smooth. I've removed all of the knots in the rope, as they say, and so I'm going to have a go at pulling this out from the top now. Okay, so now we're ready to start pulling this out. However, before we do so, there's one hidden little fixing. It's another one of these little white brackets with automotive tape on either end. If you shine the torch right down in there, it's going to might be hard to see on camera. I don't know if you can see it. It's just about there. Yeah, you can just about see that, I think. Just there, on the end of my hook there. You probably see the white of it just at the back. It'll make a little bit more sense when you're not watching it on screen. But again, what I've got to do is just get my hook tool in just behind the material, and just cut just the material, being careful not to break obviously the actual cable itself. think that's got it. Let me give a little test. Yes, okay. So you can see that's where the automotive tape was holding it in place. So now we're ready to draw this cable up through the body of the door here. Okay, now the key to removing this is to kind of, don't just pull it up because you could get to a point where you're jammed. Just pull it up a few centimetres at a time and kind of give it a bit of a wobble as you come up, just so you can make sure you can kind of monitor that you're not getting stuck anywhere. And the bit that's most likely to get stuck, obviously we removed earlier the little cable tie clip. That can act as a bit of a knot, but the one that's there, and there's another one there. Now, if you do get to a point like I have just there, if you wobble it, you can sometimes get away with it. If you get to a point and it's stuck, then just reach up inside the door from within the speaker hole, take hold of the end that's got the white plug on it, and just pull it back down a couple of inches, and then give it another wobble just as you pull. And you know, by working it up and down, you should be able to get it out. Here I've got it. There he is. Yep. Okay. So here he comes. There it is. So a little bit of jangling backwards and forwards. You'll have the white plug out like so. And obviously, when you come to refit this, a little tip for you: rather than trying to feed this wire back down the hole, if you get like a long stick, or if you've got it like a little kind of a pipe tool, a flexi pipe tool or something like that, and actually feed a little bit of string down there first on the end of a stick. Get your string down there, and then you can tie your string onto the end of this plug, and then feed your string. Pull the string down from the bottom and gently feed this back down. If you try just shoving that back down the hole, you could be down. You could be there for a little while. It's the easiest way. A little bit of a string on a stick. Remember, you've only got to get it about halfway down the door, and then you'll be able to grab it from the inside. But yeah, that's it, and that's the mirror completely removed. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just show you how to put this little beige kind of protector back onto the plug. One thing to note as well is very often when these are removed from the car, is you can get like a little build-up of water in them. It's quite common. You can see there's just a little tiny bit of moisture. I don't know if it's a little bit shinier than it should be, just on these. So you want to leave that before you put this back into this. Leave it out for a day if you can, or give it a blast with some air or a hairdryer or something, just to make sure that's dry before we put it back in here. Put it back in. Now you would have hopefully marked the end so you know which way it is. If you didn't, then you can kind of follow the natural kink. It kind of fits the shape of the plug. Just slides straight down, clicks into place on the end. And you've got this little section here. I'm just going to get my miniature screwdriver just to help me open this up a little bit, like so. And then you want to get a little small cable tie and attach it just around the wires just on here. And that's it. That's good to go.